Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. Hope you guys had a safe Labor Day weekend, man. Hope you guys are having, you know, a safe, fun time. I know I did. But I wanted just to come on here and just have a discussion, because it's been quite some time since I've just, you know, strapped on the GoPro, went on a drive, and just talked to you. Now, if you guys are unaware, if you don't have TikTok, which I think a lot of people do have TikTok, but if you don't have TikTok, I'm gonna let you know that there is literally, and I'm not kidding, I don't know how this started, but apparently people are like back in 2013, 2012, and there's literally a 4.6 versus 5.0 war going on. You heard that correctly.
Oh, you spend 20 grand in 3-valve, you only make 700 to the wheels. You can do that with a shit LS.
Alright, I'm gonna have to go ahead and defend my 4.6 brothers because your numbers are all off. This is my stock motor, never been opened, 2-valve car with just a Vortech supercharger, long tube headers, and a fuel system that makes at the very least 450 wheel horsepower. And this whole setup, including the price of the car, did not cost more than $10,000. Now, I also went ahead and purchased a built bottom end for this car for $5K that supports over 1,000. So I know for a fact 700 horsepower and a 3-valve is not going to cost anywhere near $20,000. And even if it did, which it doesn't, anybody that pulls up in that 3-valve is not going to get any hate because that build takes time, dedication for not throwing it out and doing a Coyote swap or an LS swap like everybody else does. Let's stop the slander.
What made me decide to build the 3-valve motor rather than a Coyote? The fact that the 3-valve platform is constantly being trashed on by everybody. People just underestimate the platform because it's labeled stock bottom end can only handle 450 horsepower. It's okay to say you're too scared to build a motor. They're much cheaper to build than building a Coyote. Now this is the big controversial topic. All you 5.0 owners think that the 5.0 is so much cheaper to build. Of course your half-ass cookie-cutter ghetto-rigged Coyote build is going to be a lot cheaper than a properly built car. But if you compare part list to part list, 3-valve's much cheaper. Lastly, the owners. Every car brand has a stereotype, right? Like super owners with their vapes. Well, a bunch of you Coyote owners try to act like you're Scotty Kilmer. But in reality, you barely know Jack. Got a douchebag mentality, tries to act like they're the best. Coyote ain't special, it's daily traffic.
All over TikTok, and you're gonna start seeing it on YouTube because a lot of people are repurposing their TikToks and putting them up on YouTube, which is kind of what I've been doing recently. A lot of creators in the 4.6 and the 5.0 world are hashing it out, and I honestly have no idea why. I don't know who made the videos, I don't know who started this, but a lot of 4.6 creators are going at 5.0 owners about how they're lazy, about how they're afraid to build a motor, and how they have like no type of like, you know, uniqueness with their builds. And a lot of 5.0 owners are going at the 4.6 community, talking about how, you know, the 4.6 cars, specifically the 3-valves, are complete trash and how they're not worth building, and you should just go ahead and swap in an LS or a Coyote in your car. And that just kind of got me thinking, and I was like, man, I need to go ahead and make a video just kind of just voicing my opinions on all this and kind of, you know, shedding some light on why the 4.6 specifically, the 2-valve Mustang, hope you guys can hear me over the exhaust, how my windows kind of rolled up, but I want to go ahead and explain why the 4.6 liter 2-valve Mustang isn't as bad as a lot of people think. And the reason why a lot of people think the 4.6 liter 2-valve Mustang is a bad car and a waste of money to go ahead and build, I'm telling you guys this right now. It's part of the reason because of the owners, and also it's because people are living in the early 2000s still. It's 2022, tuning is not the same as the early 2000s. Fueling is not the same as the early 2000s. Hell, the modifications on these cars are not the same as the early 2000s. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not coming after 4.6 owners. Believe me, I'm a 4.6 owner myself. But all I'm going to say is there's a lot of misinformation going around about how much power these cars can really handle stock bottom end. And the really sad thing about it is a lot of the people that are going ahead and spreading this misinformation are people who are not even pushing these motors, or people that are still NA, which I kind of find hilarious. Again, not coming after 4.6 phoners, but this car is literal proof. These cars, in all reality, they can hold mid 4s, 500 wheel horsepower, stock bottom end. A lot of people have done it. I'm currently doing it. And if you guys have seen the vids on the channel, if you guys haven't, feel free to go ahead and check it out. That's really all you need in these cars to go ahead and have fun. Because you think about it this way, a brand new Mustang, we're going to compare it to 5.0 since a lot of people, you know, like to compare the cars to one another. The new 5.0s, you know, weigh 38, 39, 4,000 pounds. A new Edge Mustang with minor, and I mean minor weight reduction, we're talking about unbolting the seats, is going to weigh high 31s, 3,200 pounds. We're talking about 7, 8, 900 horsepower savings here, which is ridiculous. And if we're going off of a roll, who do you think is going to win? You know, there's a lot of things that I feel like people are not really, you know, putting in account when, you know, they're thinking about building the 2-valve cars, that they really should before they go ahead and discredit it. Now, if you don't really care about performance, this is all irrelevant to you. Buy the car because you like the way it looks, you like the way it sounds, and if you have a nice, mint, clean example, you know what I'm saying? That's awesome. That's badass. You know, it's always nice to see an older car kept up when, you know, a majority of them out there, you know, really aren't up to speed or, you know, up to standards like people like to say, you know? So I wouldn't go ahead and discredit a 4.6 just based off of, you know, how much an engine can handle. Now, a lot of people like to also go ahead and, you know, throw in, you're gonna spend X amount of money to keep up with a Coyote car. You're gonna throw a bunch of money for no reason. But how much money are we really talking here, you know? For my case, this car, to get it to where it is right now, we're not gonna include a lot of the frivolous things I've done. Let's talk about, you know, wheels, tires, shift knobs, you know, stuff like that that don't matter. We're talking about performance modifications that can get the motor to make 450 wheel horsepower. It costed me $5,000 and I bought this car for $4,000. So we're talking about $9,000 turnkey. You can buy a boosted, ready to go 2-valve for $9,000 to $10,000, right? That, in all reality, is not a lot of money compared to a brand new $40,000 or $50,000, you know, Gen 3 Mustang, which theoretically is where, you know, people are kind of having the standard set at as far as speed. Talking about a Gen 1 or a Gen 2, 450 wheel horsepower, I mean, you're gonna be having some fun with them Gen 1s or Gen 2s. So we're not gonna go ahead and discredit the 2-valve there, in my personal opinion, because again, apples to oranges, we're talking about a $10,000 car, mods included, versus a $40,000 to $50,000 car, bone stock. You really can't discredit the car right there, if we're being completely honest. And again, there's gonna be a lot of other guys who are gonna be, you know, saying, well, once you start going ahead and modifying the Gen 3 car, you're gonna be back at square one, which, you know, that can be true to an extent. You go ahead and put a Cobra Jet manifold, you go ahead and cam the car, and you put it on E85, obviously a Gen 3 car is going to outrun a 2-valve when it has the stock motor. To go ahead, open up that motor, which a lot of, you know, 4.6 guys, you know, are not afraid to do. TikTok is kind of proving that. We're gonna be completely honest here. You can go ahead and have yourself a kick-ass setup for $15,000, $20,000 max. That includes everything. We're talking about the car, the boosted setup, a built motor, and again, we're talking about $50,000 Gen 3 car with mods on top. I don't really get how people can go ahead and compare the two price-wise. I don't ever like to do that when going ahead and building a car, because it's your car. You're gonna build it how you want to have the vision for the car to look like, how you want the vision of the car to go ahead and perform. And at the end of the day, when you honestly you think about it, are we really gonna be talking shit about somebody who has put time, money into a vehicle, has a build, you know, quote unquote build? Are we really gonna discredit that? Like, stuff like that really doesn't really make any sense. I don't care if somebody put 100 grand into a 2-valve. It's his car. He built it the way he wanted it to be, and he got it done. I mean, I just never understood that. People who I guess pocket watch, and again, I'm not gonna go ahead, I'm not saying this is just in the Coyote world, because obviously this is, you know, in cars in general, and honestly, you know, life in general. You know, people like the pocket watch, and I really don't understand that. It doesn't really matter how much money somebody puts into a vehicle. It's just, most important thing is, does that owner, you know, enjoy his ride? Does he find it worth it? That's my take on it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn those post notifications. Follow me on Instagram. That link is gonna be in the description of all the videos. You guys know how it is. Man, we're closing in on 2,000 subscribers on Instagram. And also, thank you guys for 10,000 subs on YouTube. You guys are absolutely amazing. And yeah, catch you guys in the next video. Deuce.